Welcome to Young Turks, the show that puts the spotlight on young Indian achievers every single week and takes you through their journey to success. I'm Shireen Bhan, and over the next 30 minutes I'll be joined by my colleagues from across India. So stay on with us for the Young Turks ride.
Anuj Khanna is a man on a startup mission. With a business running in the family DNA, it was almost natural for Anuj to turn not just entrepreneur but a serial entrepreneur. This young achiever has already helped successfully launch 3 businesses. His entrepreneurial journey took off in Singapore on a Singapore Airlines scholarship. After a bachelor's degree in computer engineering, Anuj decided to give masters a miss and instead gave in to his true calling, creating a business.
I started while I was still studying, and I started my first business when I was on student pass in Singapore. And when you're on student pass, you're not even allowed to work legally, right? So how do you go around that? So
You found the loophole like most Indians do.
no, it wasn't the loophole. Actually, it was correct what I did. What I found out was that you can't take a salary because that is what constitutes work. But if you don't take salary, you're a student, that's fine. You can be a foreign director for a Singapore company and you can own shares.
Okay.
So I owned the company, I was a foreign director, and I started my business when I was just about 20, 21.
Where did the money come from when, how did you, was it all personal sort of savings, or did you actually have investors putting in money as well?
Now, there were 3 of us who started that company, and each of us put in equal amounts of money.
Okay.
That was our own personal savings, so we were rich, cool students, and we put all the money into this, and we were now pretty much hand to mouth because all the money was in the company.
And
so
you couldn't take a salary?
We didn't take a salary for a year plus.
Yeah.
And then we found investors later.
Okay.
But yeah, so essentially while I was still studying, I started this business and did that quite successfully.
They've always been tech-related companies, right?
Yes, it was always tech-related. We were always trying to create something new. And technology is a good way to create something new, something different, and add value. So yeah, that worked pretty well. And
how did the second one happen?
In my first business was about helping people share information.
Yeah.
And it was about knowledge management. There, while helping people share information easily, we were creating a security problem for corporate customers because a lot of sensitive information was being shared so freely.
Yeah.
The second company was addressing that problem. It was an information security software company.
In 2005, Anuj says he found his life's passion, Affle, a mobile media innovation company that offers cutting-edge technologies for consumers and businesses. With a core team of 6, Affle is headquartered in UK, has its R&D team in Singapore, and operates in India, Singapore, the UK, Malaysia, and the United States. Anuj has an aggressive and ambitious growth strategy and is looking at expanding across Asia through acquisitions and partnerships in new countries. And to fund this growth, Affle is looking at going public in 2 years. Affle believes that technology is about delivering relevant and contextual information to the consumer. And so they bought the SMS 2.0 to India, the next generation messaging application.
An interesting story behind the name. Take us through that. And of course, after Web 2.0, it's now SMS 2.0, and that's what Affle is all about.
Being very active in business and always was traveling, so I decided not to use a mobile phone.
Yeah, I read about that between 2004 and 2005. Why would you do that?
Well, just not wanting to be enslaved by I was so dependent on it. It was almost like everybody commenting, and you're always on the phone. And I didn't use it for a good 1 year. So on my birthday, somebody gifted me a phone. And this was a Windows mobile phone. And this phone was impressive. I was like, within this year, so much has changed.
Yeah.
This phone, I could use my email on it, I could use MSN on it, and it was amazing. So I really enjoyed that. And that's when I said, hey, SMS must change as well. We are ambitious enough to have redefined SMS. SMS was used to be called short messaging service.
Yeah.
It's now called short message and search 2.0. We are helping people to have a new experience on that.
You know, when are we actually going to start seeing your services on our mobile phones in places like India and so on and so
Well,
on?
you already are. We are an equal partner with Airtel in the launch that we have done recently in India, which has been very, very successful so far. So it has been launched in the National Capital Region, but in the next few months, in fact, as it was announced by Airtel, in the next 8 weeks from now, we would be going for a nationwide launch in India, and this product would be available to the masses at large. And I believe that what we have is going to be an experience that the consumers in India would specially enjoy because of the kind of content, the kind of interesting, engaging SMS to experience that we offer.
Take us through this engaging experience that you're actually talking about. Give us a slice of flavor of what one can actually do with this.
Well, what we are now doing is adding a next generation new flavor of messaging. And what it does is it perfectly blends a very engaging content experience. So if, let's say, you are interested in news headlines, if you're interested in sports information, if you're interested in Bollywood, Hollywood news, or entertaining stuff, then at the bottom of your message, you can see whatever interest that you have subscribed to, that content very seamlessly integrated with your messaging experience. And the important thing here is that it's free of cost to the user. So Affle is creating significant value in terms of consumer experience. However, for that additional value, the user is not paying a single cent.
You obviously ramped up your team as well. You talked about 6 core people who started with you. What's the team looking like now?
Well, we have a pretty well-staffed organization right now. I think the R&D team is based out of Singapore. We have a business development team out of India, and we have a business development team in UK so far. So the expansion that I talked about is the regional expansion in the Asia Pac region. The way we are doing it is through a partnership with Group M, which is one of the largest group of media agencies within WPP Group.
Yeah.
We have a partnership with them. We're working with them to launch it in that many countries. So that helps us in 2 things. One, that we don't have to ramp up so much as compromising the quality of people. So we have ramped up our team sufficiently to support that partnership. But they will invest in resources at their end as well to make this happen in 10 other countries and beyond. I think Affle is an opportunity where we are looking at building a much larger sustainable success out of Affle itself. I mean, we've got offers for people wanting to acquire us, but I must admit that we are ambitious enough not to take them. We are also ambitious enough to look at growth strategies where we might be acquiring companies. Now, to enable all those plans to happen, we might look for an IPO opportunity so that gives us the liquidity and the ability to trade equity.
A lifestyle that includes living between the UK, India and Singapore, life for Anuj Khanna has remained the same, full of passion and energy. His focus now is to anchor himself to Affle and innovate. This serial entrepreneur also practices what he preaches. So, a good idea always gets his support, resources and investment. He's found his big idea in SMS 2.0, but something tells us he's already on the lookout for the next big thing.
If Affle must be successful on a sustainable basis, it must encourage entrepreneurship. There's no 2 ways about it. And I encourage it personally by, I mean, we have a few things that we do in the organization, which is very different from what other companies do. So like every month we have something called a Friday. So the last Friday of every month is when in Affle we sit together, look at all the new ideas that have come about and zero in on one and say, okay, this is the Friday of the month.
Okay.
And take that idea,
okay, that's a good one.
and we give it full support, resources, whatever investment needed to incubate it, and either put it as part of a product roadmap, or if it is complementing or different from our focus, then spin it out.
Okay.
So I think we've had a very good precedence of having done that successfully with one of our people. I think I'm going to continue encouraging that in a very consistent way, and I believe the rest of the team has also taken on that value system. So Affle will continue to be entrepreneurial as long as I'm at the helm.
So many thanks for joining us, Anuj, and we wish you the very best of luck, and we hope that you go from strength to strength with SMS 2.0. Thanks very much for being on Young Turks today.
Thank you for having me here.
CNBC TV.
Dreams never get tired, like our spirit.